cousin.
Hi, cousin.
Welcome to Calling Cousins. This is Cousin Ash, and I'm calling from Arizona. We want to thank everyone for joining us today.
Cousin Shaw here, calling from Colorado. Being a grown-up is overrated. Hopefully, we have some beneficial advice on how to guide you in the right direction with our Adulting 101 section of our podcast.
Being an adult is the dumbest thing I have ever done, for sure.
Agree. Yes. I feel that every day.
So today's topic is kind of an important one. So we actually have two big things going on. One, we are obviously on video for the first time.
First
And
time.
two, we are on video to celebrate our 1 year. So we've
I
been doing
know.
this podcast for a whole year.
Can't believe it. I know we at 6 months but when we first started, I was gonna say at 6 months, I want to see if we're still having fun, and then we'll continue doing it. And sure enough, we're still having fun. So here we are.
Yes. The only thing is that I will say to our listeners is we're having a hard time with topics lately. So if you want to
Oh,
start commenting like what you want us to talk about,
you know
that'd be
how
great.
you know how when you watch a movie, right? Like when you're a kid, and then you grow up, and then they like remake that movie, and it's like all exciting. I feel like we're getting to that point. Like,
Honestly, when I listened to the first few podcasts, I'm like, "Eesh." Like that was rough. Like technology wise, everything, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We were
no,
struggling with like headsets and kids interrupting. And oh my gosh, if you saw the edits, whew, there
I
were
know, I know.
it was
We,
crazy
yeah,
times.
yeah.
So I agree. Maybe we should go back and like redo, especially like the big ones. Like what's the big ones that you remember, or what are the big ones?
So one thing that I want to talk about today is we have like a few questions. We're gonna talk about our our reflections. So we're gonna just go over the past year. We'll probably talk about some of the podcasts we've done just to see how we feel, where we're at, where we're going, all that kind of stuff. And one thing I actually wanted to talk about was our analytics side on Spotify because it's really cool. And cousin, I don't think you've looked at it in a while, so I was actually going to go through that, and that was
Okay,
one of the things. So,
the
um,
things.
oh, hold on, it's got the circle of death here going.
As long as
Okay,
it's not the blue
so
screen of death.
a cool thing that I like. Well, first of all, right now it looks like we need some more men listeners. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so get your husbands, get your boyfriends, but
Your dads, grandpas, just
all of
everyone.
them, your sons, all of
Brothers.
them. But this part was really cool. So it shows me like the geographical location. And so primarily we're in the States and we are all over the States, which is really cool. Obviously, Colorado, Arizona are big ones. We're in Kansas, California, Missouri, New York, New Mexico, South Dakota, Illinois, Massachusetts, and Minnesota. So that's really cool. And then this part, hold on, now I need to learn how to back out. We are also being listened to in Costa Rica, Russia, and New Zealand.
Ooh, Russia. I hadn't heard that one yet.
Yeah, so that was really exciting. And then there was we I can look at the episode rankings. So back to your first question, we could probably go through. I don't know if I want to go through. Maybe we can re-edit them and re-upload them. Maybe I don't know. But our most listened to. So we have right now. This is going to be our 37th episode. We used to do once a week. That got really hard being moms and when school started, so we backed down to twice a month or basically every other week. But our most listened to podcast is actually the parenting styles. So that is probably one we should go back through and maybe we can see if our parenting styles has changed. That would be kind of cool. We won't do that today, but maybe a different
Yeah,
topic.
that would
The
be
se-
cool. And we could even deep dive into each parenting style in an episode.
yes,
So if
that's true.
you're part of that one, we can kind of go into it and discuss.
Yeah, and then our second most listened to one is the Getting to Know Us, which I really appreciate because I feel like if you're gonna listen to a podcast, you need to understand who you're listening to and their history and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it also helps. I think we've talked about our history in a lot of the podcasts, so it's actually cool to listen to the very first one to get kind of the gist. Did we even talk about why we started the podcast? Because that was actually one of my questions I was going to ask us today.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay. Well, if
It wouldn't
not,
surprise me if we didn't actually.
okay. If not, I wanted to ask that question. So anyway, so that was one of the things I wanted to go over was our analytics, which is really cool. We're all over the world. Um, we are now introducing um, YouTube, obviously. So this is exciting.
Very exciting. And then, wow, I'm surprised actually that the five love languages wasn't one of the higher ones because
Ooh,
that
let
one
me
to
see where
me
that
was
was
the
at.
best one, and we reference it a lot. Like that's I reference that still.
I learned so much about myself with the parenting styles one, so that one I understand why it's a hot one. Which one the five love languages you wanted to see? Oh wow,
Yeah,
that one's like pretty far down. So more to
really.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, fine.
So so yeah, it'd
We'll
be
just have to
interesting.
do it again
But I
or
mean,
do something similar.
we've talked about so much, like, and I don't want to go through. Maybe I'll go through all of them real quick. Just read through the topics, and you can go on our Spotify and look at all the topics. We wanted to list the topics because it helps, like, if you're not interested in whatever that topic is. So let's see. We did get to know us, parenting styles, others yelling at your kids, first time parenting hacks, helping kids cope with moving. Oh, by the way, I do want to preface this. When we first started this podcast, it was parenting based. And then I can't remember when, but we started introducing adulting as well. So we have both sides. We do parenting and adulting because I feel like there's things that I needed to learn as an adult, as a young adult, that I wasn't necessarily taught or I didn't pay attention very well. But so, anyways, a lot of these are parenting. Parenting in the
Especially in the
digital
beginning.
world. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Parenting in the digital world, that was a big one for me. Chores with children, how to successfully co-parent, that one was a good one. Helping small children with big emotions, I still deal with that.
Yep.
Kids and food, so picky versus allergies and all in between. Parenting debates, guaranteed to start a cat fight. So we have 2 episodes on that because it went on so long. Those were kind of fun to listen to see where you stood. Let's see, modesty and smart clothing choices. That's more for like teenagers. Actually, no, it works for younger kids too. 15
Yeah,
tips.
definitely. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go
Sorry.
ahead, sorry.
No, I could. That one actually is kind of funny to watch. Just, I mean, that was only a few months ago, and my little girl, like what we've implemented from that article, she's only 4, has changed so much of how she is, and when she gets changed and everything, especially like because she has a brother and they share a room,
Right.
and so just that little nudge
Well,
was really important. So I do feel
well,
like the ages,
yeah, that's true. And like, I feel like we're learning more and more as we go through each of these episodes. So
oh
I
yeah,
like it. I like it.
for sure.
This one is 15 tips everyone should know about. I think that was kind of when we introduced the adulting. That was just basic. That one was a fun one. I remember we
Hmm.
went through like basic chores or hobbies or that kind of stuff. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Emergency situations, so like if your kid goes missing. Job hunting strategies. That was a good one because I feel like I just recently went through that, and so it helped me. Um, Credit score. I feel like we need to dig deeper on the credit score and what it is for sure. We just barely touched the
oh,
surface.
I feel like you can like, oh,
I know.
there's so much with that, but I agree, we probably need to do more, a deeper dive there.
So marriage tips actually doesn't pertain to me. I've never been married, so um, but that one was still good. I feel like I learned a bit for my future, you know?
I did like that one a lot. I mean, obviously the marriage ones were like my favorite, and I think that's why I like five love languages too, because
Oh, yeah.
my husband's kind of important in my life. I know, crazy thought,
Weird.
right? Um, but it's that is a topic, and we've been together for so long that it's just it's just normal at this point. So I
That's
do like
fair.
that one.
Fun fact, I'm the room mom at my son's school, and one of the other room moms mentioned that it was very helpful for her to learn the love language of her teacher, um, to better serve her. So I was like, what a cool question. And I'm like, we should totally ask our teachers what their love language is to be better room moms. Just saying. Um, the next episode was parenting adult children. We'll get there one day, but we are the children of our adult parents, obviously. So that was kind of cool. I think we
Obviously.
talked to, um, who did
My
we
mom.
talk to? Was it your mom? I thought your
I
mom
think
was
so.
the co-parenting.
Oh shoot.
Maybe we did my
So
mom
was it your
for
mom?
adult parenting.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did. I think we did, yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah. I was
A
gonna say because she's got three of you, but like my mom doesn't have two adult.
right.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't think of my brother as an adult yet, even though he's like 30.
I feel the same about you. Just kidding.
Well, my braces helped.
Oh yes, your braces. Um, One thing that we did do, or I should say I did, which I turned out not to be a fan of, but I wanted to do this thing. So when you watch a TV show, you have like lots of different stories going on during that TV show, and it kind of keeps you hooked. Um, so you'll like, I'm trying to think of a good reference, but people know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I tried to recreate that with birthing stories because birthing stories can be intense, they can be boring, whatever. So, but they're still so cool and so different, and I think they're helpful for people that are brand new pregnant and maybe want to see like the both sides of everything or the reality of everything. So anyway, so I did a couple episodes of just purely birthing stories, and there was three birthing stories going on at the same time. The struggle I'm learning now is it's kind of hard to differentiate because like when you're watching a video, you can actually visually see that the story has changed and the characters have changed, but in an audio version, you cannot see that. So, um, that was kind of a fail on my part, but they are on there if you're interested.
I don't know. I feel like the tone of the voices were noticeable, but I mean, we've also been doing this for a while, so maybe
well,
that's
and you also know, I think
the people.
everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Like obviously I know the people, so I was very much able to differentiate. Then we
Yeah.
had the five love languages. This next one was really cool. We did blended families, and I actually learned a lot about myself. There's two episodes on that because it got pretty lengthy, so we split
Yeah.
it.
But I agree,
Um,
there was a lot of knowledge there. I mean, even growing
yeah,
up like that, you'd think that we'd know everything. Nope.
uh-huh. I know. This next one was sick babies and preemies. That one was definitely long. We learned a lot in that one, and that is also a two-parter. Then I have another birthing story. We also tried to do a couple things. I don't know how often we'll do it, but we each did our own solo cast. I did one strictly on single parenting. I'm a single parent, and so cousin doesn't have experience in that, so I just purely talked about that, just myself. I'm not sure if that went. People liked it or not, but I, thought it was helpful. The next one we did is what this is a long sentence. What to do if you get separated from your kids. Oh, I wonder what we talked about with emergencies last time because I thought
I
that
think
was our.
it was when you need to call 911 and have the ambulance come, and then we talked about medications and did a
Oh,
deep dive
but we
in
also talked about with you and your son. We talked about that situation.
mhm.
That's
Yeah,
right. Okay.
I think
Okay.
that's what I thought we put those two together, but I guess not.
I guess not. Yeah. That. See, we're learning something
I
right
don't know.
now. And then Ash did her solo cast just purely on fostering because she has been a foster parent and I have no experience in that. So she was able to deep dive into that and strictly talk about that. I am not gonna lie, I have not listened to your solo cast, but I know
Same.
the story. Oh, okay, good. But I know the
I
story and
was,
you know my story, so it's fine.
yeah, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, did I ever? I don't think I ever did.
I
It's
nope.
fine. Well,
Um This one was kind of fun. It was more of a lighthearted topic. It was big family holiday planning. So we have big families. Cousin more so than me has to be everywhere at the same time, and so we kind of gave advice on what to do in that situation. This next one, which we will eventually get added onto it, but we called it getting shit done. And so cousin had a great idea. Um, she is going to she's a clean freak, which you'll learn as you listen. So she is going to while her while her husband is taking a shit, she is gonna get shit done around the house. And so we're gonna try to make little videos of it as just kind of like quick sped up videos. So here's an idea to do this. Here's an idea to do this. And while your husband's taking their time doing their business, you can
Because
get
it's
a few
every
things
husband,
done.
I'm noticing. Not just mine.
So,
Okay, I've heard many stories.
so that one's a cute one. It's fun to listen to. This next one was fun. New Year's resolution. That one was
Oh,
pretty
that's a
cool,
good
and
one.
they had some cool different ones, not just the typical lose weight ones, but there was some cool ones in there that I think I've continued doing. The ones I was already doing, I'm continuing doing. This next one was
Yeah.
goofy. By the way, we've had many guest speakers, and all these, not all of them were labeled guest speaker. But if you ever want to be, a guest speaker with us, we'll interview you and talk about pretty much whatever you want to talk about.
Absolutely. And
So
we don't
this
have to
one,
know you.
right,
You could
right,
be a
right,
random stranger.
for sure, and you don't even have to live in either of our states, so it's great.
Exactly.
Um, this next one, why I brought that up was with my brother, but he wanted to talk about aliens, so we talked about aliens, and that one was
Sure did.
I learned a lot with that one. Oh, and it looks like
Also
we had
got a little
another.
creeped out.
I know, whatever, it's fine. Oh, and then we had another guest speaker. It looks like after that with my friend, and we talked about AI, which definitely gets me heated. But yeah, we have a couple more coming out, and as for our visual, none of those will be visual. From here on out, we'll make them visual here and there, and so yeah, I'm excited, and that sorry, I didn't realize I was going to take so long to go through all those. But did you have any questions for me?
Well, no, I think that was, yes, I do. But I think that was good. I mean, we're doing a year reflection, so we might as well go through. And I can't believe how many I forgot about. And I thought we had a whole one on like cleaning, but now I didn't hear that
I
at all. So I
think
think that was
that's
the
the.
first adulting one.
I know we've talked about cleaning in a lot of those, and getting shit done was definitely a cleaning one. That one
Because
was
I
a.
remember giving a lot of advice because I am a clean freak. So,
I think
but
you
I
did that at.
thought,
I think you did that in the getting shit done.
okay, fair.
Go listen and
Oh,
tell us.
yeah.
um, I
Remind me.
I do have some questions. Okay, so before we get into more, because we're gonna ask some personal questions about us, not super personal, but I wanted to talk
Really
about
personal.
some reflection questions about our podcast. Is that okay?
All right. Yeah, do it.
Okay. Okay. Um, oh man, there's a lot. I should have dwindled this down. Okay. Looking back, I'm setting up the mood. What is the biggest surprise you encountered in your first year of podcasting?
I mean, I feel like this is totally like but honestly, the amount of listeners, okay, so we always joked about
Oh,
this. We always, like, ever since we were kids, we were like, we should be on a radio, whatever. Like, we're hilarious together, right? Like,
I think
we've
so.
said that, we said that all the time. And then other people started saying it to us, like, just, like our parents, of course, would say stuff like our moms, but then like our friends would mention it, like you guys are so funny, blah, blah. And
That's
so
so funny. Yeah, a lot of people, that's true. I never thought about that. A lot of
like
people
I
told
don't mean to
me,
sound vain, about it,
but
but
also
yeah,
makes me feel good that we are hilarious.
we are
Um,
hilarious.
one thing oh, look, it's like taking my earring as the
Oh,
background. Isn't that funny?
uh,
Um, so because I've heard similar, but it was more like um, they feel like they're in the room with us, which is so cool to think about.
Yeah,
I
that
never
is
thought
cool.
about that. Isn't that sweet?
That is
Huh.
sweet because, it's like that's we want it to be friendly and open. And I mean, some of the stuff that we talk about, like especially the parenting stuff, is like it's kind of deep and it's kind of intense. And so we want it to be lighthearted and like you're talking with a friend.
Yeah,
So
like don't
hearing
get me
that is great.
yeah, like don't get me wrong. I love talking about deep stuff, but not all the time. So it's like it's nice to, make people laugh too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's see, what's another good one? How's your eye? Maybe I should have read these a little quicker. I'm not the quickest reader. Okay, people. All right, well, you think of one while I'm reading these.
All right. I already have a couple of mine. I'm just
Okay.
gonna ask you.
Okay.
What's the weirdest food combination that you love?
You know what I'm gonna say? Well, it's not even that weird. Our childhood food, how we bonded.
Oh, for some reason I thought of like redneck sushi. And I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, that one's pretty weird too.
But I think that's normal. Like I think a lot of people do it. The pickles with cream cheese with ham and then you
Yeah.
cut it up and it's
Oh,
like
so
redneck
good.
sushi. So
So
good.
the one, because assuming these listeners haven't listened to our first episode, but in our first episode, we talked about this food that we ate, and it was cheesy rice with
With
ranch.
ranch.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that was like the next level. But my other weird food thing that a lot of people don't like, which I think is weird, is a peanut butter and cheddar cheese sandwich.
You what? I had mind blown. Like I had
Really?
no idea that I've never tried that. I've heard of it, but
My
I didn't
dad
know that
eats
you
it
liked
all the
it.
time. I like it because it's like a little bit of sweet and salty, because the peanut butter to me is sweet. I know it's literally salt, but there's a lot of
No,
sugar in
it's
peanut
sweet.
butter.
Yeah.
So, but like if you pair it with chocolate, it's the salty side of it. But anyways, um, so yeah, I like it with like a thick piece of cheddar cheese, and I'll even just do the thick piece of cheddar cheese like off the block, and then I'll just put peanut butter on it. It's so good, so good.
Huh. No, I'm gonna have to try it.
Without your
I
children
don't have
around.
any. I don't. Yeah, I know. I did. I did the other night. Sorry, random. And those of you who don't know, my kids are allergic to peanuts.
Yes.
But so since we're living with my cousins, they obviously have peanut butter here in their pantry. In our pantry, we have sun butter. But I went the other night and I got a spoonful of peanut butter and I was just eating it. And then I immediately went and I did mouthwash and I washed my hands. And then I still, when I like gave my kids a kiss, I was like I didn't want to touch them. So
You're
scared.
like, wait,
I'm such a spaz about
let me
it.
go
And I
get some
know there's
alcohol
so
on
many.
here.
I know let me take a full shower and floss my teeth again and scrub I'm there are people out there that are not like that at all, and I'm just so spazzy about it. Actually, we just came up on our 6 year anniversary from when that happened.
Oh wow,
Was
weird.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
So
it's
pretty
just weird
crazy.
that our kids are getting old. 6, I
I
know.
know.
That sounds old. Okay,
Okay, sorry.
I picked another podcasting question.
Okay, go for it.
It's a good one. What is one key lesson you've learned about podcasting that you wish you'd known when you started? I have a good one.
I would just say the editing,
Okay.
like it doesn't have to be perfect. I think in the beginning I was taking out every and
Yeah.
every long pause and every, you know, giggle fest that we would have. And now it's like, okay, that's fine. Like if there's an obnoxiously long pause or, whatever, I'll take it out. But really in the beginning, I was like trying to edit it perfectly. And it was
Perfect. Yeah.
so
It's so hard.
frustrating.
I
Yeah,
think that's why I designated you as the editor, because I did the same and it was too much. And I was like, nope,
I get
you
it.
interested? Um, so mine was when we first started, we would read articles live on the podcast. And it had to be pointed out to me, but we sounded like robots, and I am not a good reader. and we were pronouncing things wrong, and it was just awful. And I wanted to speak from the heart, not from a book or the internet, you know? So yeah, that was a key point. I wish a lot of our first ones were not so word, 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 word. And I feel like we've been a lot more casual, and it's gone a lot easier and quicker and less editing um, since we've just been talking about a topic instead of researching while we're reading or while we're podcasting.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, ready for another personal question?
Yes.
I'm tweaking this one a little bit. It is, what's your most embarrassing childhood memory? But I want to know, what is your most embarrassing childhood memory with me?
Um, were we looking at the same questions?
I
Because
don't know. It's very possible.
that was one of my personal questions. Oh, I guess it was what's your favorite childhood memory with the family? Oh wait, no, that was
Uh,
favorite. It was what's the most embarrassing family story you can share without getting anyone in trouble. That was one of my questions.
oh, that is a good one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so
Do you just want
so
me to say the embarrassing story? Because I already have it. I don't know if I can get it out
oh,
though.
that one. I like when you talk about it because you laugh so hard. I don't know if that was embarrassing for me though. It's just my life. Okay. So, oh, I'm dropping stuff. Hold on. It's my arm. Okay. Um, well, I'll let you tell that story. I want to try. So my most embarrassing story with you.
I can keep
I
this together.
I know your most embarrassing story. Well, maybe you were more pissed off that had to do with me. Okay, you tell that story, and then I'm going to tell my story about you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the first time we lived together when we were teenagers, our moms moved in together, and we were, I don't know, middle school, high school, barely like
We
freshman, sophomore,
we
freshman,
actually
junior. I don't know.
well, we got super into detail in our first episode on that.
Yeah.
We were like calculating ages, remember?
Yeah. But anyway, we were like, I wouldn't say middle school. I think it was more middle school.
Yeah, it was middle school.
Um, so anyways, we first lived together. And then, so we would go cause trouble. We were big troublemakers, and we would go walk at night or whatever. And actually, I think this one was in the middle of the day. We went
This
to the park.
yes. No, it was at night. It was at night.
It was at night. Okay, so we went to the park. I know, troublemakers. It was
Worker.
closed. It was after the sun went down.
Yeah.
So broke the law.
And our parents knew
But
where we
anyway,
were. It was very risky.
yes. And it was literally like not even half a mile up the street. So anyways, we went to this park, and it's like a kids park, like a play park, right? And we're
Hmm.
obviously older. And so cousin Shaw gets on the little spring horse. And I think it's just one of those things where you have to be there because, oh God, it was so funny to me. It still obviously is so funny to me. But she got on the spring horse and she goes, just
I'm all
goes forward.
forward and back like all the way. All the way.
And then all of a sudden she goes forward and forward and forward. And then she just like flips over the front of it. Oh my gosh, I almost peed my pants. I was laughing so hard.
It's
Oh,
it
so
was
funny.
because the thing flipped me off. I was sure I'm like I'm gonna go farther now. Like because I was like my butt was touching and then like I was like I'm gonna do this and like I think when my butt touched I'm like I went and I was like yeah and I don't know what happened but I went and hit. I did not purposely do that.
Oh my
And I
gosh, it's
think I
so
hurt
funny.
myself. I don't know if I was crying from
It
pain
was
or embarrassment or
laughter.
funny or just that was a good
I
story.
said
That's
it
good.
like it was just oh my gosh. It was just like I saw it in slow motion. It could have been happening in slow motion, but like it was just like ooh. It just happened just like that.
No, it was definitely fast motion for me because it was like, oh gosh, sorry. Okay.
Calm down. Okay, all right.
Um,
Now tell me
okay.
mine. I'm curious on what you're gonna say.
So yours, and I don't know if it was more embarrassment or anger, but we had this routine down, and was it 1,000 miles? The song
10,000. Wait.
10,000? Is it 1,000? Whatever
Shoot,
song it
hold
is,
on.
we have to know. 10,000. What is it?
Uh, it's 1,000 miles.
Okay, by who?
By Vanessa. Hold on, sorry, it went away. Vanessa Carlton?
Sure, sounds great. That song.
I don't know.
We did a routine when we were much younger. So then our my springy horse situation.
Yes,
Um,
much younger.
and we um, we practiced it so we could perform it for the family.
On like
And
Thanksgiving.
yeah, and I don't remember why, but I wasn't there. And cousin performed it by herself on a mattress, I believe.
Nope, it was on the floor,
Okay.
but I tripped over a box spring, I think it was, because it hurt. Because I like kicked it. I was like walking, so obviously, like it's in the 90s or early 2000s. So I'm like walking backwards with like drama. And then I tripped on a box spring and I like fell into it. I fell on the wood and I was like, and then of course my face turns bright red and everybody's laughing at me. And your brothers were there. So why weren't you there?
What? I don't. Was I with my dad? I just
I
might have
don't
been with my
know.
dad.
But all I know is that your brothers were cracking up. And I was like,
And I
worst day
wasn't.
ever.
Yeah. Okay. So the next podcast question I have is. See, I didn't pick one. Dang it. um. Okay. So this is kind of like the same question, but it's like, what are your goals for the next year versus and or on top of, are there any new formats or ideas that you'd consider to put in the podcast?
Hmm.
So my answer, my I don't know if I necessarily have a goal. I mean, I love getting more listeners. I want to Oh, I know what my goal is. I want to have like a true like famous person to interview. Like doesn't have to be super famous, but just like someone other than someone I know. I would love to like interview someone I don't know. I think that'd be so cool to hear their stories. I love hearing people's stories. And then I also, and when it comes to formats, I want to go on a few different ones. I don't want to necessarily be on everything, but like for instance, I like our Spotify for listening. I like this YouTube thing we're doing now for visual, and I like our Facebook for talking about it. But I don't know
Mm.
if I want to be on a bunch of listener type or video type or chatting type. Like I like keeping it simple, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, I agree with keeping it simple, but I think that I would like a little bit more interaction with people,
Yeah,
like a little bit more comments, a little bit, and maybe that's something that, we need to like amplify and share in other pages and that kind of stuff. So we can always look into that. Um,
that's true. That's true.
but I do think I would like that. And I also feel like, um, I don't know, just the topics. I want to get a little bit more into the like marriage side of things, which I know is like difficult for you because you're not married, but um
I still
something
might
that's
have
been really
suggestions.
I agree. Something that has been really that I've been doing a lot of this past year is reading kind of like self-help marriage books, and I would like to reference those a little bit more because I do think it's a big deal, and even just relationships in general, not just marriage. So I think that that's where my passion has kind of taken me. So that's what I would like to focus on a little more.
I love it. I love it. Okay, those are all the
All
questions I had.
right, I'm kind of piggybacking off of the same thing because the
Okay.
one that I was going to do is where do you see yourself in 10 years besides this amazing podcast?
Oh, sure. Well, I would hope that I'd be married. I would hope that I'd have a house. My son wants a sibling. I don't know if I want to deal with that, but
If you find the right guy,
I want one for him. Yeah, but I don't want to go through the pregnancy. I don't want to go through, like, I worked
then
so
maybe you can
hard.
find a rich guy and you can get a surrogate.
Have someone else raise my kid? Or
Oh,
have,
just
oh,
grow
have.
it.
But even like the raising part is so exhausting. Like how you guys start all over. And I mean, my son's going to be 7 in a couple months, and I'm not even dating anybody. So we're looking at maybe by the time he's 10 to have another one. And bleh, that sounds like falafel to me. and
Well, you never know
I'm
what the future holds.
you know
Well,
how like when you put all your energy, your focus into like the first project or whatever it is, um, and then the second one you're whatever, and I don't want to be that way. Like I want to be dedicated to the kid too because they deserve it. But I really, really do want to give my son a sibling because he would be such a good big brother, and so it kind
okay,
of breaks my heart that I
let
don't.
me perspective. Okay, perspective. This, if he is 10 by the time you have the next one or older, then he's going to be like able to basically do his homework on his own and that kind of stuff and be a lot more self-sufficient than he already is, make his own lunches, that kind of
I'm not
stuff.
worried.
So,
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about like the steps I took to build him of who he is today. I don't know if I have that same energy and dedication and focus for the next one because it's like, like when you try so hard on painting the first picture and then you work on the next one, your hand starts to cramp so you don't do as well. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to take shortcuts and be lazy on the second one, and then my first one just gets all the glory. And
I
what
get
if
that.
what if my second kid sucks because I don't work as hard as I do? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. So,
I
but
feel like if you have more time on your hands, you can focus that energy, the same amount of energy, and still, like, I don't know, you find it just happens. You find the time, you find the love, you find the room in your heart. I'm just saying,
hey,
okay, we're focusing on this part, but what else? The married house,
married,
maybe another
yeah,
kid.
yeah. I want to lose like 300 pounds. Um, then I'll be in the negative, so then I can get real fat, and then I got some time to. And then, bless you, bless you.
Mm, thank you.
Um, those are kind of like the big ones. Like I like my job. So, um, I don't, really care for traveling that much. So it's not like I want to travel more. Um, I hope I have a great relationship with my son though. Like a truly honest, great relationship with him. Um, and obviously I don't want anybody to die in the next 10 years. What about you?
I agree with the last two of those. I just hope my kids come to me for everything,
Hmm.
even in 10 plus years.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
I hope that my marriage is still strong. My big thing, obviously, I hope to be back in Colorado
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
on
yes.
my own piece of land and building our own house or have our own house built. Um, I hope that I get a little bit closer to God. I'm working on
Oh,
that.
that's a good one. I am working on that
Yeah.
too. I feel like I've made pretty big strides. I
Yeah.
started a Bible study if anybody's interested.
That's a virtual Bible study in case
Oh,
you cared.
yes. Yes.
Um, yeah, those are the main things. And I want my kids, um, I don't know, I want to advocate for them so that they're just blooming in school,
Yeah.
which is my the big focus for me right now, and maybe even homeschooling them.
Oh, yeah. I
Um,
don't want to do that. Nope, nope. No, no.
um, so yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
We
Awesome.
should have done like 5 years. 10 years is kind of hard, pretty far out there.
Whatever. It's fine. I think it was a perfectly good question. All right. So, to be respectful of everybody's time, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up a little bit. And, cousin,
Um,
what is your inspirational quote today?
It's a good one. I feel like this is, I God, I say that every single podcast.
It is, except for one of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, except for the Santa one.
Yeah, yeah, that was the only one I argued with.
Um, okay, so this I feel like sums up why we started a podcast, and I feel like it sums up why a lot of people start a podcast. But does be loud about things that are important to you.
I like that. I like that. It's a
Thought you
freedom of
would.
speech, man.
Yeah.
I
And
would
I
say
think
mic
that
drop, but then you'd have to take it off and the whole thing.
but I think that you and I wanted to start this for parenting, and that's kind of a big deal for a lot of people is their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So things that we feel passionate about, and then transition to adulting, which things we also feel passionate about. So we're just being loud about things that we care about.
Yeah, I like it. I'm still digging it. Please remember to like, follow, and comment to connect with us. We are now on Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook pages. Just search Calling Cousins. Love you all. Bye.
Love you. Bye.